Hello everybody and welcome to the Dead Unicorn. I'm Corey, I'm the Game Master around here. We're playing Numenera. The adventure is called The Taker of Sorrows. It's one from the Discovery book. This guy right here. And it's a quick one. We should get done with it in one sitting, one playthrough. If you have 4 hours, you should be able to get through it. But I'd like to introduce our players right now. We have playing Kasim is Matt up in that corner. Playing Jade LaSalle is Crystal up in that corner.
Hello.
Playing Praxis is Tarek down in this corner. And playing Jet is Howard down in this corner. If you don't know what Numenera is, basically the world has changed. It is many millennia, like ages, eons in the future. And civilizations have risen and they have fallen, and now nobody remembers what the world used to be like. But there's all this technology floating around. And some people call it magic, some people understand it to be more of a technology thing, but whatever they are, they're clues to the past, and they're interesting things to explore. And that's the key to Numenera, is exploration. To get y'all used to what each other's characters are, I'd like to go through and everybody kind of introduce your character. This is a continuation of Ashes of the Sea, and you can check that out on the main channel of Dead Unicorn. This is Dead Unicorn Live. But you don't need to know, you don't have to watch that to do this adventure. This adventure, we're kind of starting a little fresh. It's just the same characters. So, Crystal, let's start with Jade LaSalle. Tell us about Jade.
Well, Jade comes from a family of performers. You know, just entertainers in general. She's very tall and slender, with long, pale blonde hair, and generally wears light blue makeup over all of her skin. She is a nano, so like a magic/tech user whose skin is crisscrossed with like a fine wire mesh, kind of like circuit boardy, let's say. And that's how she improves herself, by getting extra little implants and attachments.
Tarek, tell us about Praxis. Who is Praxis? Where does he come from? Where is he going?
So Praxis is from a very isolated village where Jade was also from. He was training to become a glaive to help protect the village when an incident happened involving Jade that left him very, very injured. And the elders of the village used technology to try to help bring him back to life, in a sense. So he has become a lot more robotic than human, and this has caused a lot of people to see him in a very weird light. He tends to be kind of aloof and extremely detail-oriented, but absolutely fascinated with Numenera and the discovery of Numenera. He can kind of be off-putting and unnerving in the way he talks and interacts with other people, because he is so inhuman in a sense. He looks very strange in that he wears really large, bulky clothes to hide a very frail frame underneath, and has a large kind of faceplate that goes like domed faceplate that is shiny and reflective and doesn't have any kind of facial features to it, and his voice is very monotonous.
So, Howard, let's go to your character, I think he's very interesting, Jet.
I am Jet. What? Hold on. The socially acceptable answer that I have listed here says, I am a machine that has achieved artificial intelligence, and I belong to a man named Praxis. I am Praxis's machine, and nothing else, for that would be odd.
I do believe we found out
Well, hold
during
on.
our previous game
Yeah,
what you are.
Yes, the players do know what I am.
He's my
and
synthetic.
Our characters know.
Yeah, he's
All
my
right.
synthetic.
What? Why do you guys like ruin it for the audience? Just let them enjoy things.
We didn't. I didn't ruin anything.
You did. Now they know something's up.
Ruiner.
Matt, you're up.
Now they're gonna be suspicious.
Tell us about Kasim.
Kasim is a glaive who made it his mission to go out searching for artifacts and any dangerous technologies that might give larger like clans or organizations any sort of advantage that they would have on smaller clans. Decided to make it his mission to find these artifacts before anyone else could, and just hide them away, so no one can really mess with them. He's very stealthy, and very silent and reserved. But he'll let you know if he finds you like annoying or unpleasant.
Great. All right. So everybody's come together, exploring the land, and it's hard to get the funds together for some exploration, food, that kind of thing. But good news is there's an entertainer troupe led by a guy named Divine Nex, and he has allowed you to enter his Aerosultant. And y'all are basically people.
Sorry, we entered his what?
Aerosultant.
Aerosultant?
Aerosultant. That's what he calls his troop.
Okay.
Nex likes to say, those who ally themselves with the performer, or as Nex likes to say, the Aerosultant. Even for a brief time. Okay. Oh. The Aerosultant is him. That's what it is. I thought it was the group.
Okay.
He is the Aerosultant. He's Divine Nex, and he basically has hired you on for protection.
We entered him. I'm not down.
Just let it happen, Howard. Just let it happen.
Ominous.
So everybody has been not hired on. You've basically taken an oath to protect this guy, called a Shin obligation. And you're basically using him to travel. You're using the oath to travel. And you're traveling through a place called the Steadfast. It's a huge area that contains many different kingdoms, and they consider themselves the civilized area. Unlike the Beyond, which is, where them hicks are. The exact kingdom,
Where we just came from.
The exact kingdom you're exploring right now is called the Navarine. And you are traveling towards a city called Vestberg.
Vestberg?
Vestberg.
Vestberg, okay.
Vestberg.
It's a massive pile of clothing. Vests, specifically.
Oh, I thought it was like the opposite of the worst bird. Not the best bird, it's the best.
I thought it
It's
was
the
an electronic
Vestberg.
So, where is that? Ah, here we go. So, the first thing that happens to you guys is that you've been traveling for several days, and you've all gotten to know each other a little better. Even if you've met, the three of you that know each other have met Kasim, and y'all have shared a couple stories, and have kind of gotten a friendship. Divine Nex, the performer, the man of miracles, is always here to help anybody out. And while he seems kind of full of himself, he does honestly want to help others. He kind of helps people recover through his entertainment. He brings up spirits. and basically make sure that everybody's enjoying themselves. He's very a very nice guy who you can make friends with easily. After a while, though, you start traveling across a slanting, slippery plane that's weirdly smooth and sounds almost metallic under your booted feet. You find a depression a few miles away that contains a pool and some vegetation and some small game. A hermit, you see a hermit by the pool of water, and you notice the sun is kind of setting, and Divine Neck says, "Oh, great, the water! We can stay here for the night next to the water. I'm sure that hermit over there won't mind the company."
Hermits generally prefer not to have company.
Oh, pish tosh! Come now! Everybody desires some human contact every once in a while. I'm sure this person would love to have just one night with his fellow man.
Yeah, then the hermit turns around and goes, "Ah!"
And if not, if they generally want to be left alone, we'll leave them alone. But we need fresh water. It's very important.
Yes. We can at least try not to disturb them too much.
Well, our Anin at least need to drink. By the way, Divine Necks, he wears a red and black cloak and always wears a mask showing different emotions on it. So you've never seen his face. When he goes to sleep, he goes into a big red tent that doesn't seem to have any openings on it, but he gets inside no problem anyways.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Praxis can walk through things.
I like the idea that during a conversation, he will occasionally throw a mask in front of his other mask that's like an arched eyebrow.
He just has a bunch of facial features or specific features that he puts over top of a regular mask. Like it was a monocle. Just like.
So, does he change masks on the regular, or does he usually just wear the same?
No. He changes his mask all the time, but he doesn't change them in front of people. He goes into his tent, changes, and then comes out.
So it's not like Destro from G.I. Joe, who occasionally would arch his eyebrow, and we're all like, "How did this just happen?" That makes no sense at all.
Can't.
I thought it was more of a Rorschach mask.
So I'm gonna.
These masks don't have Spider-Man expressive eyes. They don't. Anyways, Praxis, you were gonna do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically go and sit by the water, kind of awkwardly close to the hermit, but not interact with the hermit, and just start sensing whether or not any Numenera are in the area.
Okay.
I'm picturing Praxis next to the hermit going, "Not what you do."
Basically, go and sit right behind him, and then start meditating.
So as you approach the hermit, it immediately gets up and runs back into his little hermit tent.
Oh.
Oh no, he's retreated into his hermit hole.
Hey, did Praxis see the entrance to the tent, or did he just kind of run through the wall?
Oh,
no,
this is a different guy.
Not Divine Next, but the hermit.
Actually,
Well,
Howard, now your mic is running a little quieter for some reason. Just pump it up to 40 and we'll... Thank you. Love you.
As I see the hermit kind of retreat, I'll give out a sad R2D2 beep and then sit down.
Oh. Okay. Divine Next and his entourage start putting together a camp, and they start watering their anine, and which are like big, like lizardy creatures. You ever play Elder Scrolls? Like, not Netches, like, what are the two-legged creatures that you like so much, Tarek?
Guar?
Oh, the Guar?
Guar?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like Guar. They're called anine.
Guar are the best.
They look like fat raptors of some sort.
Guar? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They look like pudgy
So-
raptors.
They're your anine. People ride them. They're two-legged lizard creatures. They're just bigger than Guar.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty...
Significantly bigger, apparently.
So, those things are being watered.
I've got
And
a big head.
The
two
camp gets
arms.
set up, and people are practicing their little routines and such. You know, sewing together patches in their costuming and those types of things.
Tumble exercises.
Yeah. Stretching.
I will take part in these entertainer activities myself.
Awesome. They definitely welcome you.
Because, after all, I am an entertainer.
Are you? I've forgotten about that.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
And-
she was an entertainer.
A dancer who has gravity powers.
Do we have jobs? I need to look at my character. I have no idea what I am.
I mean, I don't have a job. I'm basically a hermit, a mechanical hermit, which is why I tried to connect with one, and he did not like it. You're not hermit enough for me, bro.
Well, maybe if you had asked nicely. Wait, are we talking about me or the other guy?
No, the other guy, the guy who ran away from me. I was like, but I love you. No.
and I'm just gonna keep to myself, prep my equipment for anything else that might be coming up, and maybe do some modest stretching, keep myself nice and limber.
Okay, so everybody does whatever they want to do during the evening. There's good food, there's solid entertainment, or you can do your calisthenics or writing, or read a book. There's not.
Oh yeah, I read books on Numenera, but I'm also searching the area to see if there's any weird sense.
Feeling
I
it
can
out.
Oh,
just
yeah. You were
sense
searching
magic
for
around
Numenera.
me. I just have that ability.
That's
I
right.
also read the books on Numenera. I pull out these books that are labeled Numenera and how the game works, and I research it, and I now know all the rules. We
So-
can do that, right?
He says it on my character sheet, so it has to be able to be done.
As you meditate and start sensing the Numenera around you, there is a Numenera within the tent that the hermit has.
Oh.
And that Numenera talks in a weird accent.
It's like, what y'all want from this here hill?
But then, as you kind of probe deeper and you reach out with your senses more, this area, this entire area is a Numenera. Definitely.
Can we use it? And what would happen to the area if we did? Would it just go dormant somehow?
Okay. I'm definitely going to crack open my book about technology. I have a book called A Book About Numenera.
Okay.
Yeah. All nanos start with that.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull out that and do a little bit of sensing. I'll spend a couple intellect points if you want me to use the scan ability. And I'm just
Okay.
going to wander around and try to figure out what the hell these things do.
Is the author of that book labeled Meta?
World peace, actually. But I'm chat.
I'm just saying that if I had a book, playing a D&D game, and I had a book called Dungeons and Dragons and How It Works, it seems like that would be meta.
Rum, chum, chum, chum.
Well, the game is named after what Numenera are, and so like anything that's weird or technological based or kind of magic-y or anything like that is considered Numenera. And the game that we were playing...
No, you're right. I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, I kind of want to have a book somewhere in a game in D&D by the wizard meta who explains how Dungeons and Dragons go.
Well, wouldn't that be any book on dungeoneering and like D&D?
So
yeah, but the wizard meta writes the best ones.
Okay, well that's fair.
So as you reach out with your, as you spend, you're going to spend your effort, not effort, but you're going to spend your points.
Yeah, some intellect points. It's 2 intellect points to do a scan.
A scan.
And if you want me to, I can spend a couple of those. It's 1 point for me because I have.
You can just spend your 1 point. And
Okay.
what you realize is whatever is in the tent is a level 3 Numenera, and it's connected to the entire area. And the entire area is a super vast, complex Numenera that is, I don't know, level 10.
This is fascinating. My character gets like squee and like starts kind of prancing back and forth and looking around and stuff. Really strange.
At which point I will rush over to you. You are obviously unwell. Drink this water. It is salty.
I'll take the cup from you and go, Jet, I think I found something interesting here. It's been a while since I've seen anything this interesting. And I'll pour water in the slot on my face mask.
It is salt water.
He did tell you it was salty.
This is I'm sure to your liking. Jet did eat like entire things of salt, right? Like entire shakers of salt at one point. Okay. So my character will kind of stare at the glass for a second and think better against drinking more of it and just put it down and go, look, the hermit here, I think he is controlling the entire region. Perhaps he's listening to it. Or maybe he knows something that we don't. I don't want to harass him. He seemed to be quite scared of us.
If he can control an entire region, why would he fear us? He must have an amazing control panel. We should find it.
By the way, his tent is not small. It's pretty big for a tent. Like more like a yurt.
Big enough for a large control panel. Look at the size of that tent. It could be a yurt.
Maybe
I have a thing here that says yurts are big tents.
Maybe we should tell Jade. She's better at talking to people than I am.
I will call for her. 1 moment. I begin yelling Jade very loud.
Assuming I hear, I come over.
Turns on his alarm system. Beep.
Or you just hear the
Jade.
dial up.
Yeah.
I come over.
So, Matt, do you understand why I might be the most annoying person in the party?
Might.
It depends on what annoys you.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yes, Jet? You called?
Praxis wishes to speak to you.
I think I found something very interesting. I don't think the hermit likes me.
Well, there are probably too many of us for his liking.
Now, this may be the case, but I think he has something quite interesting inside of his tent.
I believe his tent is a yurt.
There is a very interesting Numenera in there, and I think it controls the larger complex just underneath our feet.
Well, if this is a Numenera below us, that explains why it seems to be solid metal.
Indeed. I wonder how this water got here and isn't damaging the metal underneath.
Water doesn't necessarily damage metal. It depends on what the metal is.
Well, I guess you're right. If it was coated in some kind of alloy, non-reactive surfacing. Perhaps we can find out more by asking the hermit, but he doesn't like me.
Well, I can try to talk to him. See if he's willing to give us any information.
That would be nice.
Okay.
Are y'all digging the music or something?
Yeah, I'm digging
Matt
it.
does.
I kind of
That is all
scurry
about the
behind
people.
you, but like following after you, but with like a trepidation. Like I keep like start moving and then stop, and then start moving again.
Okay.
Kinda
As you
closer.
walk towards the tent, Crystal, you feel a weird buzzing or static. You both hear it and you feel it in your head, and it's not pleasant, and it's stronger the closer you get to the tent.
So it's the music we're hearing now.
Maybe it's his "keep away from me" field.
It's the GTFO field. Guess what it stands for?
I
Get off
take note
my
of
lawn.
that, but I'm curious what it is. Also,
You continue on towards the tent. You get to the main. You get to the entrance, and you see the hermit. It's kind of shuffles over and pulls out one bluish hand and beckons you to leave. Kind of shooing you away.
This man requires oxygen. You should breathe into his mouth.
well, at this point I won't come any closer, but I will try to politely talk to him.
Hurriedly, you should breathe into his mouth. He is dying.
Because he's blue.
As soon as you start to speak, the
Abu-
flap on the
Abu
tent
Dhabi.
closes, and you don't see him anymore.
Well, that's okay. I can talk through a tent flap.
Okay.
Yeah, flaps aren't. Yeah. Not sound resistant.
Excuse me, sir. I realize that we've imposed on your area, and I apologize for that. However, we have sensed a unique Numenera in the area, and are wondering if you have and possibly would be willing to share information about it.
Do you require oxygen? My friend here is capable of breathing into your mouth.
So,
I mean,
This-
she does have lungs.
the weird static that's kind of assaulting you shifts, but that's all. That's the only thing that happens.
This man is clearly dying.
Yeah,
So
everybody
it
that's
doesn't
near the
like
tent can
get
feel
better
that.
or worse, it
No, it
just
doesn't.
kind of
It
changes.
just kind of, it's like, kind of like that. Changes different shifts in staticiness.
Okay.
On the upside, if he dies, his inefficient form will not reproduce to create more inefficient forms.
Well, perhaps from this closer distance we'd have more luck determining what the Numenera is. If we pool our thoughts on the matter.
It's
I kind of scurry up next
hard
to
to
you.
think with the static.
Okay.
What is that? What is that?
What is what?
That oppressive feeling on my head.
Something other than the static?
You could call it static. There is a hum that I'm unfamiliar with, and it presses on me. Is he okay in there?
Is that not the normal noise that all life forms make?
It is a new hum to me.
Well, I don't wish to press too much. He does seem just to want to be left alone.
Certainly.
I have heard of creatures that wish to die alone. He is clearly dying. He is blue.
Maybe we should just search the area. Perhaps there is a way inside of this mechanism.
I suppose we could look around.
We might want to tell Nex about our plans.
Yes, we definitely shouldn't just disappear.
Okay. I start walking back toward the our encampment.
All right. Nex is out there talking to some performers, giving them a few tips. Greetings.
Do we call him Divine or Nex?
Call him Nex.
Okay.
He's like, how is our host over there doing? I saw you over there.
He is producing a strange hum.
A strange hum, you say? Is it musical?
And he is blue.
A sort of static, I suppose.
Static.
It is unpleasant, but
Like
not
annoying.
harmful.
An annoying static in your head?
Yes.
Oh.
Hey, do you hear it too?
No. I just have encountered Murden before.
Murden?
Murden. They are bird-like abhumans that cannot communicate verbally to other intelligent life forms. Instead, they communicate telepathically. Unfortunately, when you communicate telepathically with a non-Murden, it just creates an annoying, staticky hiss in that person's brain that can be quite oppressive sometimes.
That makes so much more
Interesting.
sense.
So, perhaps he is trying to communicate with us, but is unable to.
Most abhumans I have had contact with, we usually do pantomime to communicate. They pretty much know they can't communicate with you.
Well, he did wave us away.
That sounds like a Murden. I would be careful though. They have a reputation for being tricky.
Well, I sense that there is some powerful artifact in his possession, and that it may indeed control a larger artifact that we are standing on right now.
Well, let's hope he doesn't use it against us then.
If our goal is to protect you, then perhaps we should investigate to make sure that it is not a threat to us while we wait.
How are you going to attempt to do that?
I'm sure there is some way to get inside of this mechanism.
Oh, well, please, by all means.
I thought we might look around physically, but also try to sense whether there is any kind of entrance or controls.
Well, it might be quite difficult. Might be some threats out there. Kasim, come over here.
All right. What's going on?
These folks have detected a very large and possibly threatening Numenera. They're going to go investigate it. I want you to go with them to make sure that they are well taken care of. Make sure that nothing harms them while they are manipulating the machine.
Okay, I'll see what I can do for them. So I'll go ahead and prep my equipment and get ready to go with them.
Okay.
How do you do, Kasim?
Doing all right, Praxis.
Don't forget that.
Don't forget what?
Point to a piece of your equipment.
I won't.
Do you have any experience with Numenera?
Artifacts, yes. Numenera, no.
Oh. Well, do not worry. Me and Jade know quite a fair bit, and I think Jet might...
So could you explain to me, like, you know, what this Numenera supposedly is?
I stomp my boot on the ground and make a metal sound, and then go, I think it's that.
Yes,
Allow
that
my
makes
question.
perfect sense. The Numenera is everywhere and most likely beneath us, and possibly controlled by the Hermit.
I wandered around the water earlier and did a scan. The scan told me that there was a very powerful Numenera that is around this entire area. I believe it to be a complex just below the surface, and it is probably controlled by that hermit over there. But
Let me rephrase my question. What exactly is a Numenera, and what use is it to us?
Numenera are tiny magical bugs made from science that give you superpowers.
Numenera...
Essentially, understand it as tiny machines that you can no longer see, that you can learn to control.
I feel like everybody
Magic.
in this world should generally know what a Numenera is. It's just like lost tech magic-y stuff in general.
Yeah, but it is fair to say that everyone might have a different interpretation of what that means.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So as Kasim, I'm
The
just like
Numenera up here, or rather, the Numenera we are using, is primitive but functional. Yes.
I am of a different mindset. I believe that Numenera is everywhere. It is quite possible that literally everything that we see is powered by Numenera.
No, not everything. There are plenty of normal minerals still about.
Could they not have been replaced with Numenera?
Some have, but to replace all of them would be inefficient.
In any
Intriguing.
case, the Numenera that Praxis has sensed seems to be very large, and we can't possibly know its full extent and usefulness until we explore more.
I agree.
all right. So let's go ahead and take a look.
All right. What direction are you heading? Give me a like north, south, east, and west kind of.
So who's leading the party? Is it Praxis? Is it Jade? Is it Jet? I'm just following.
Well, Praxis is the one who can, like, sense Numenera, so it's probably best if we follow him in this case. Did he maybe feel where we were in regard to the location of it?
So I could do another scan to try to see if it gives me a more accurate representation. I would suggest we probably choose a direction and move in that way, and then do like a circle pattern to see if we can suss out where it is.
Yeah.
And I can spend like 2 or 3 scans to do that, to make sure that wherever we're going in that range, we can pick up on something.
Okay, it feels like as you spend your effort to scan your intellect pool to scan the area, you reach out with your senses, and yeah, you try and feel out where the dimensions of this thing is, and it feels like it's everywhere. Like, it doesn't feel like it has boundaries.
So I don't feel like there is any direct opening to it.
No. In fact, the thing, like, it encompasses all of your senses when you focus on it. Like, it's everywhere. It's...
Can we make an understanding Numenera roll if we have that skill?
Yeah, I can do that.
Not yet. There's...
Yeah, we have. I guess it does make sense that we haven't really, like, dug into this thing yet.
Okay.
I have an idea. I just don't know if it's a smart idea. I could literally just work to pass through the floor and see what happens.
Oh, you just want to, like, go down.
On the other side, or if it's, like, blocked off too far, I will die. So, probably not the best idea. The other idea is we could try to go into the Hermit's lair.
If you wish to go with your plan A, please pass me anything valuable you have that you do not wish to be lost. And then proceed with plan A.
Plan A is probably not a good idea.
I like plan A.
You would.
On the surface, it sounds like a good idea, in that it would be expedient.
Efficiency is important.
But we have no idea how thick the walls might be, and whether there's an opening in there somewhere.
This is true.
And then what when you have to come back out?
I figured I might be able to find something from the inside that would help to open this place, but there's not much more to go on other than that this thing is quite everywhere.
There are these institutions that are like a place where you could store things that are important, that they're then trapped inside and can only be opened from the outside by people that have the appropriate keys or passcodes. If you have that in your society, and you were to pass through such a wall, would you not be trapped inside with all of the important things?
Therefore, not making any use of them.
Unless, of course, you can find a way to pass upwards back to us, in which case, I like plan A. And if not, like I said, do leave anything important with me before you pass downward.
I look over toward where the water
You will
is.
be missed.
Corey,
Yeah?
you said there was it's like a little pond or a lake?
Yeah, it's a pond.
Pond. Okay.
Basically, this is where all the water collects after rain.
I guess I'm gonna head over toward the water.
Okay.
How is it like really murky water?
No, but it's not. The reason it's not murky is because there's no dirt in it, because it's all smooth metal around here. So there's some debris in it, but for the most part, like
It's just
see,
clear, clean
Like
water.
I can look to the bottom of it basically.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it still looks like just metal down there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nothing
Smooth,
interesting.
no seams,
So,
no doors.
Like, if you ever leave like a bucket or like a metal pan out in the rain, and the rain collects all that water, that's the kind of brackishness it is.
Yeah, there's a little bit of sediment, but not much. Okay. Well, I guess I start heading whatever direction that water is. I'm gonna try walking around the water and keep walking up. You know what I mean? In the
Okay.
upward direction.
So you're gonna start heading out towards out of the camp and out of this crater.
Exactly.
Okay.
Get higher ground to see if I can see anything more clearly from there.
Anybody going with them?
Of course.
Okay. You start moving. You start moving up. And you get to the top, and it looks like there's a couple little ups and downs. So you can keep going that way, or you can go back to the camp. But it all seems like the same kind of slick metalish stuff.
Is it really difficult to climb?
No, it's a very.
It's not like super
yeah.
steep or sheer.
So, like, by the time you get out of the crater, you see down in it, like, the fire is, like, this big.
Oh,
From the
kitty.
camp.
Okay, so we're up pretty high at this
Yeah.
point.
And then you can go a little further, and there seems to be, like, a couple little ups and downs that aren't very deep. And then you can't see any more past that.
All right, I want to get up high enough so that I can at least see the surrounding
You're
area.
at the top.
And see...
You're at the top. This is it. You can
Okay,
either
and if I
continue
look out, is there any kind of cognizant design that I can tell once I'm up top? Is there any reason to believe that this might be something larger or a part of a larger whole that is observable at this point? Put it that way.
It looks all pretty uniform, like it's made out of the same stuff.
And it's like a uniform ridged, is it like a crater, right? Like a spherical crater.
It's not that uniform.
It's not that uniform.
No. It's more like a dent in whatever this thing is. If you were considered the entire thing a machine, then something dented it.
And we were just happened to be inside of one of the dens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think our best source of information would be going back to where the hermit is. I don't really want to bother him, but
I don't know that we have a choice at this point.
yes, you felt that one Numenera inside his tent, and it's
I'm
a
quite sure
possibility that it's connected.
I'm quite sure that it is actually connected. But I'm not. Without being able to look at it, investigate further, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, you haven't gotten to the edge of whatever this machine is.
So we could still move out a little bit further to see if there's an edge.
That's right.
Okay, I look over at Kasim and go, Kasim, why don't you continue to search with me while Jet and Jade go and see if they can communicate with this hermit.
All right, let's go ahead and do that then. I am not usually one for talking or discussing anything with anyone.
Well, good. We should get along swimmingly.
Praxis,
Indeed.
before we separate ways, do you believe that you might be trying to pass through any solid objects here?
Do you want me to give you my things?
Well, always. However, I have the ability to share with you a Numenera that will allow you to nullify gravity. In which case, should you be stuck, you might be able to swim back. I have a Numenera labeled Gravity Nullifier is 1 hour of floating for 400 pounds or less. I mean, so basically I'm trying to explain to you that if I were to hand you this, you would have to probably trade me a Numenera because I don't know how many you can hold.
Well, I can hold 3, and I only have 2, but I would not mind trading you if you want to. I have a subdual field that I can give you on my turn.
That sounds
forces it forces everybody who can think within a certain range of. It says here, hold on. It just says a cube of a certain size. Oh, with long range. The field lasts for 1 minute. It affects minds of thinking beings within the field, preventing them from taking any hostile actions. The effect lasts as long as they remain in the field or for 1d6 rounds after they are exiting the field. Although an intellect defense roll is allowed each round to act normally, both in the field and after leaving it.
Well, that sounds super useful.
Yeah, it has been a thing that I've been holding on to just for a while. Just in case.
Yeah, as soon as it came up, I'd be like, I use this thing. Screw everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Otherwise, I also have a.
Why hold on to stuff?
I also have what's called a matter displacer, which is an explosive charge that I have, and I've also been holding on to.
Yeah, exploding things is not really my style. I'm not against it. I'm just saying it's not my first thought. But, you know, stopping everybody, that sounds cool. So you want to trade Gravity Nullifier for your other thing?
Sure. I'll send you the deets.
Okay. How are you sending these things to me? Is this a PM?
I could be, but I was just going to send it to you on Discord.
Discord? We got Roll20.
Discord.
Oh, yeah, well, I can send it to you on Roll20.
I mean, I could
It's right
turn
there.
on Discord.
That is the subdual field. It is a level 4 Numenera and a complex device. Or it's a cipher, I apologize.
There. That's the one that we are trading for. And I will change my description to the thing that you have traded me with.
So, you split up.
Oh, I was going to say, just out of curiosity, to see if I even get an answer, I'm going to point my little oddity at the Numenera below our feet to see if it will give me a readout at all. My description for this item is a pen-sized object that tells the weight of any object it's pointed at within short range.
You know when a calculator gives you put too much information in it, and it gives you an error message?
Yeah.
That's what you get.
It just keeps printing nan over and over again.
Not a number. Not a
I had one that just gave me all E's.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
what
like,
does me?
this is too much information.
Actually, you want to know something?
What's with
Your
the
pen
E?
doesn't give you an error. It gives you a notation in exponent.
Okay, yeah. That's another thing you can get, usually with, like, the graphing calculators and stuff. They'll give you scientific notation.
That's what you get. But it's very large.
Okay.
Wow, y'all got interesting stuff. I have my oddity is a small mirrored cube.
I also have a scarf that appears to be made of silk and is nearly indestructible and can't be stained.
That is also awesome. My other one is a crystal that shatters but then instantly reforms.
Oh, that sounds cool. And odd.
Yeah, it's practically useless, but they're both odd. I like them.
I have my parachute that you first saw on me.
Oh, right. The
I
cape
wear
that
it as a
billows.
cape, and it will billow all the time, whether it is windy or not.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Those are actually pretty dope.
So I assume you're splitting up.
Yes. I think it might be best if we stopped and talked to... What's his name again?
Divine
Nex.
So, Jade and Jet turn around and start going back down into the little crater. Kasim and Praxis, you go over a couple little hills. They're not that big. It doesn't take you as long to get across them as getting out of the crater. And then at the end of like that second hill, it becomes a large, huge crater, and in the middle of it, you see a small pool of water and a small fire with a bunch of tents around it.
Wait, so we get to the edge and we see that there is another crater on the opposite side with water, fire, and a bunch of tents.
Yes.
So it's like a repeat image of what we just saw down there.
Yes.
Kinda.
Okay, Praxis, his brain kind of freezes for a second. Needs to reboot. He's like staring down there, stupefied for a second.
Got that alto sax going.
That's slow jazz. Right there. Built like a jazz flute. I'll look over at Kasim, and just to verify what I'm looking at, I go, Are you seeing this mirror?
That honestly is odd. I don't know what to say about this.
It's the same thing. Maybe we should go down and investigate. There could be another Praxis down there. Or another Kasim.
Heaven help me if I find another one of myself. Well, let's take. I'm willing to take a look.
Okay, y'all start heading down into the second mirrored crater. At this point, we have to wait for Crystal to return.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the restroom too. Give me a minute.
Wow, okay. Kasim, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
did you take a look at the ciphers you have?
All right, let's do that.
You know what
There's one that
ciphers
just
are. Those are your one-time use items. You can use them
Solves
once,
the plot.
and then they go away.
All right. Where did you put this? Okay, Numenera and equipment. All right, I am looking at them. Do you want me to announce them?
Nah, you don't have to do that.
All right.
Just know what they do.
Now, Crystal's back, but Howard left. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted.
Well, I would like to try to find Nex again and see what
Okay.
kind of information he has on the, what did he call him? Something that starts with an M?
The Murden.
Murden.
Looking for some Murden information. You come back to Nex, and he welcomes you. Says, "Oh, Miss LaSalle, what have you found?"
We haven't really found anything yet.
Oh.
We're thinking our best bet might be to try to go back to that Murden Hermit,
Well, be careful, like I
but
said. They're tricky.
we don't really know anything about Murden. Is there even a way to communicate between them and us?
There's a game I would play sometimes with children where I would come up with a phrase or a word, and I would have a little like timer, and then I wouldn't tell anybody else the phrase or word, and I'd flip over the timer and I'd start drawing as quickly as I could what that phrase or word was. And if they could guess it, by the time the timer ran out, that they would win a point. There would be a point for our team, and then the other team would come, they'd pick someone from their team, and they would draw something else. And that is a form of communication. I'm sure maybe perhaps
Yes.
pictograms?
But since you mentioned writing, do you know if they use the same writing as us, so I could just write a sentence?
You know what? I've never done that before. Maybe. I always assumed that Murden and other abhumans aren't as sophisticated with, communication as regular humans are. Perhaps they are. Perhaps I should challenge my own preconceptions of other people.
Now, you said they're tricky. What do you mean by that?
Oh, there are rumors and, stereotypes of Murden that they are thieves, that they are, pranksters, that they're up to no good. They're terrible people, and you should leave them alone. And they're not for good civilized folk.
Okay.
So they can be tricky. And when any type of communication I've had with them is always it's always some sort of negotiation.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what comes of this. And I'll let you know what I find out.
Right. Well, good luck. Be careful.
Okay.
That tent is rather big. I don't know what's in there and what that Murden may have in store for you. So just...
Yes, of
Don't-
course. We will try to be careful and to not upset him.
All right.
Okay. Good
So-
night.
Jet, Jade has had a conversation with Divine Nex about what a Murden is before she goes to
what
talk.
is?
A Murden.
What's
Our
murder?
hermit.
I missed it.
What the hermits
Oh, a
are.
hermit.
Yeah, what the
Okay.
hermit is.
What's a Murden? They're like Modron.
So they're cubes,
Yes.
or they look like dice. Gotcha. All right.
No. Not in the least.
Hey, Tarek, is this how practice looks like? Like underneath his...
Similar, but probably a little less bulky, a little more frail.
Underneath.
Yeah, underneath all of his clothing. I have an image I can show you on Discord. I'll send it to you.
Underneath our clothing, we are all naked. It's disgusting.
You don't say.
So as y'all are making your way around the pool of water towards the Murden yurt, you see two people approaching the camp from the other direction.
Oh. Well, approaching the camp that we've camped at
Yes.
from toward the yurt.
Kinda. From the other direction, when you explored outwards and then you came back, these two are coming from the other side.
Okay.
And they are approaching the camp.
And they're not part of our group?
You don't know, it's dark.
Okay.
It's
Well, I
dark
guess I'll
time.
say hi as we pass by.
Okay, you walk on over to them, and it's Praxis and Kasim.
Oh.
Praxis, Kasim, you're walking down towards the camp down there. You get pretty close down there towards the pool, and you see two figures walking along the edge of the pool. They turn, start coming towards you, and then you see it is Jet and Jade.
Oh.
As Jade is walking up to greet people, before I realize who they are, Jet will extend his forearm blades.
Praxis goes, "Are you an evil Jade?"
What are you talking about?
We just came from Wait. Praxis gets really close. You're like a perfect duplication. How is this possible? He'll reach out like a very thin metallic finger and kind of poke you in the cheek.
What on earth are you doing, Praxis? And how did you get way back here so quickly?
We went down the other side.
Exactly. You were going away from us.
Back here so quickly.
Are you saying that you are not the original Praxis that left us, that you are some other Praxis?
Did another
thus
Praxis
we
leave
should
you?
be ready to fight you.
Is there no Praxis in this camp?
A Praxis left us, but if we are not the people you know, then you are
When
not the person we know.
When did your Praxis leave?
I give you the exact time that he left, although I, the player, do not know.
I go, well, that's when I left. So he must be at the other camp, the original camp.
There are too many Praxises here. There should be only one.
There
I'm
can
pretty
be
sure-
only one.
I'm pretty sure that there's another you and another Jade at the other camp, too.
Can you show us this other camp?
Tess would like to know if the plural would be Praxi.
I think Praxis is actually technically a pluralized word, but sure, we can make it that.
Sounds good.
Right, because it's technically Praxis.
Yeah, exactly.
Praxis.
Praxis will definitely offer to take you back up to the like summit of the crater, but he will explain that once you get to the summit, it's just an exact copy of what we're in now, and there could be infinite numbers of them, and starts to
Yeah.
speculate about multiple dimensions and how he might have switched over into another dimension because that's a thing that happens to Praxis.
Jet will follow you to go see this, but he will have the forearm blades out at all times, just in case. It's hard to know if you're the good Praxis or the bad Praxis, as you already have a mustache and goatee.
And I am just perpetually confused. It's like,
Don't worry, it's nano things.
Oh no, my brain hurts!
Well, Praxis will accompany Jet all the way to the top. I don't know if Kasim and Jade want to follow.
I
Yeah.
will definitely follow.
I'm
because
the
I
one
do
that
not
asked if you could show it.
Okay, well, I'll lead them directly back to... I feel Corey's pain right now.
Alright.
I will lead them right back to the top of the crater.
You go back to the top of the crater, there's the two hills.
Do we find
I
our
go,
duplicates?
okay, there's two hills. Once we get on top of that second hill in the distance, you'll be able to see that there is an exact replica camp, which I am speculating might be leading to another dimension. And that dimension will include the original Jade and original Jet.
What exactly makes you believe that we are not the original Jade Jet and you are not the same Praxis that left us earlier today? Even when you acknowledge that you left us at the exact same time that we remember you leaving.
Well, if this is a mirrored simulation, then there would have to be multiple versions, wouldn't there?
Nothing computes.
I mean, it may not even be a replica. Can I turn around and look the other way and see the camp down there too?
You don't see two camps. You see the camp behind you. The other way, there's two hills.
Do we see anything that looks out of the ordinary that supports these strange claims?
Not where you are right now.
I start walking again. I start walking up to the top.
He starts walking over the two hills.
Okay.
Okay. I don't see
follow.
another camp.
I want to see. I am also constantly,
All right.
walking ready for combat. Knives out.
So the get out of the crater takes quite a while, but to get over these two hills is not that far at all. And you get to the crest of the second hill, and then you see a second crater below. And another camp, and another pool, and everything.
Oh. Now I begin to see the issue.
So there must be a real Jade and a real Jet down there.
I feel certain I am a real Jet. However, a false Jet might feel that way. I do not know.
Or you could all be real Jets, just in a spectrum of infinite Jets.
Or there could be something connected to this large Numenera that is causing us to loop back to another spot and constantly walk through the same exact space of land.
Well, that is a much more disturbing idea. I look over at Jet and go, "Do you like salt, Jet?"
I prefer salt water, yes.
Salt water. Okay, perhaps you are the same Jet.
I am the same Jet that I am aware of being at all times.
Continuity of Jet. Understood.
Yes, I understand this that you have said.
As long as we don't have a crisis on infinite jets.
Crisis of infinite jets. Well, it looks like exploring the land isn't going to do us any good. So...
One moment. I'm going to spend another intellect, and I'm now going to scan the barrier between where I'm standing and the display of the other camp.
You reach out your senses and you scan this Numenera, and as before, this Numenera has no boundaries. It is one continuous thing that has zero boundaries. It's everywhere.
Does that include that it's not only the floor, but everything above me too?
No. It's
okay.
It's everything below you, yes.
Alright, so I would like to know... Alright, my understanding of Numenera I don't think applies here, because I don't know if there is a specific Numenera to understand. This is all weird. Now, I have to ask this. It's probably totally unrelated. In my equipment, I have something labeled Pill 25, and it's level 6, and there's no description. Do you know what that means?
Uh-oh.
Should I eat it?
Pill 25.
I really want to eat it.
It's actually a capsule car. As soon as you bite down on it, you push the button and it expands and makes you blow up.
My luck, it would be just that cyanide tablet that, spies take in every James Bond movie so as not to give away any important information.
I know exactly what it is.
Oh.
It is a Numenera that is level 6, and it is a pill. You can eat it if you like.
I labeled it correctly. I'm very proud of myself.
Would you like to consume it?
I'm going to pass.
Okay.
I have a skill. It says understanding Numenera. What the heck is that?
Okay. You can't tell. You have to get back to camp so you can, analyze it in the light and such.
In other words, do that later, not in the middle of the plot. Gotcha. All right, just checking.
Perhaps we should return to the bird.
But
To
you
the
can always
what?
take it right now. That would be interesting.
I'm afraid.
I think at this point, our best bet is probably to go back to that Murden Hermit. I really don't see any way of us continuing on our journey without figuring out what's going on.
Well, my worry is that we will encounter more of us if there are more towns like the one that we've seen.
My worry is that perhaps Jade is right and we are stuck in an ever-looping area.
For all we know, this person is here alone because he simply can't leave.
Exactly. Well,
Oh, good lord.
let us start heading back in.
Okay.
Please.
You guys go back down the hill, back down the crater, into the original camp, and
Praxis's version of the original camp.
Praxis's original camp, but a different camp to Jade and Jet. And
then Kasim's just like, whatevs!
And it looks like the exact same camp.
You know what? No. Sciencey, magic-y stuff, no.
There doesn't seem to be duplicates of you guys down here. I hear you.
I look for footprints to make sure that they're the same number of footprints.
You can. It's all metal.
Damn it! Genius.
I can't hear Howard.
Howard,
I
you're
don't know.
muted.
I have an item called a reality spike. I believe if I use this and leave it here, and then travel to the other here, I should be able to determine if this is the same here or an alternate here.
Are you talking about a stick?
I will show you my spike, and I'll tell you what it looks like. Is a metallic spike that once activated, the spike does not move ever, even if activated in midair, and my action will dislodge the spike, but then it is ruined. So my thought is, it sounds like there's a D&D item where it's like a little bar that you push it, and you leave that metal item there, and people can hang on it or whatever, but just in the air. I think it's the same item. And so is that. I'm going to stick that up in the air and travel to the other area and see if it's in the other area, if it's the same city, if we're warping, or if this is a different alternate reality city. It makes sense?
Yes,
I mean, it does make sense.
but I'm not going to stand here and wait for you.
Well, I will walk fast. What do you want from me, woman?
Now that
My
you have
robot
some
legs
light,
can only move so quickly.
you can analyze that pill now that you have some light and you can figure things out.
I don't have go-go gadget skates. It's not a thing. It might be a thing. There's probably a Numenera for that, but I don't have one.
There's a Numenera for practically everything.
I think what he's trying to tell you is you should work on getting one.
The best thing in the world is that Iron Man has go-go gadget skates.
He does.
You know what? Batman in Batman Forever had go-go gadget ice skates.
Yeah, Batman. And
Batman
Robin.
and Robin. Yeah.
Was that Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Batman
That's
and
right. Forever was Two-Face. Robin was Mr. Freeze. All
That's
right.
correct.
So,
And I only remember that because it was just a day or two ago we watched some YouTube video that showed that scene.
Patrick H. Williams. He's a wonderful
Cinema
Christian
Sims?
YouTube creator. Patrick H. Williams.
okay.
Everybody should watch Patrick H. Blah, blah.
Blah.
Patrick H. Williams. He's a wonderful YouTube creator. And if you're not,
If he's not
Check him
paying
out.
you, you should stop promoting him.
No free plugs.
That's right. Those hair plugs are expensive. Ask Trump.
Mhm.
All right. So I am going to plant my spike and start walking. And it's getting late, so I'm not sure how much longer you want to walk. Want to run this game.
the stars
It's
are
7 o'clock
out.
here.
It's totally dark.
It's a lovely night with plenty of stars to see.
The moon is in the sky. The other half destroyed moon is in the sky, in the other end of the sky.
The half.
No, I don't have rocket boots.
The half-destroyed
Well, you did.
moon
You
encircled
did have
by a
rocket
cloud of
I
moonlets.
used the rocket boots. I don't have them now.
Okay, so you put the spike in midair.
Yes.
In midair, you click the
Like
button.
head height.
The thing winds up, chink, and two little pieces come out of the reality spike, tearing into reality and like anchoring
Keeping
it
it
there.
from moving. So it's like one of those screws where you put it in behind the drywall and then it pops out so it can't come back out.
Exactly. Only it's not in drywall; it's in reality.
It's in reality, yeah.
So it kind of it's lodged in there.
It's lodged firmly in the fabric of space-time.
That's right. Which is interesting to look at.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say while Jet meanders off, Praxis is like a completely obsessed with this thing.
In Dungeons and Dragons, it is called an immovable rod, but it sounds like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Jet, you start making your way up the side of the crater. You come back down the other side. What are y'all doing in the meantime?
It sounds like we're in the middle of a koan.
A what?
A koan?
I don't know
Definition.
what you
Type it
mean.
in the chat and then.
Is that spelled with a
or-
K or a C?
K.
A koan. Like a riddle.
Yes, like
You're in a
a
riddle.
Zen Buddhist riddle.
Yeah, a cone.
Okay.
Okay. Anything y'all are doing while you're waiting for Jet to come back?
Yeah, I am
At all.
interrogating the reality spike.
Okay, it doesn't.
Give me your answers.
I guess I'm just gonna sit here and rest and be slightly frustrated by the fact that I really can't go do this by myself.
So, you know the reality spike is a level 6 cipher that, once you hit the button, it's there until someone yanks it out of space-time.
Yeah, I want to
And
see
then it's
if I
kind
can.
of useless.
He's like, I want to yank it out of space-time.
And then it's
I
useless.
do also want to yank it out of space time, but I'm not going to. I want to know if I can recreate these things because
A
it is
cipher?
possible to create new Numenera.
Yes.
I wanted to like gather information on how I could recreate this. I have Yodam and Scrap.
Okay.
Oh, well, if you want help deciding on how to do that, I can help you.
I will say I have not looked up the rules on creating.
Yeah.
I mean, of
ciphers.
course, it's not going to happen
creation, yeah.
immediately, but it's something Praxis would definitely be
Right,
down.
right. We'll think about that for the next one-shot game. So,
Sure.
Jet returns from the other side of the crater, and Jet, you see everybody around your reality spike, or a reality spike that is there.
So I see them standing around my reality spike. We are either warping around the same location, or other me did the exact same thing with other yous as I approach.
I'm just gonna give a sigh of exasperation.
If other me has the exact same thoughts and intentions, I can only assume that you are not evil yous, but the same yous. Even if you are but copies of you,
Right.
I will still trust you.
Well,
For now.
I suppose that means that our only option of recourse is to try to interrogate that poor hermit.
Yes.
You could. I have heard this expression. Put screws to him.
I will.
I'm
I will.
not sure where, but put them somewhere, and that will make him speak.
I will boop the
Where are his
reality
screw
spike.
holes?
You'll boop the reality spike.
Boop
Oh,
it.
by the way, this is level 8. I'm sorry, this is a level 8 reality spike, not a level 6. Level 8, I looked at it. Okay,
Ooh.
you boop it, it doesn't budge in the least.
Oh.
Nah, it's pretty secure.
Well, I was gonna boop it to try to deactivate it, but
Oh, no, that
Yeah,
that
this
activation
is laid on
button,
my character sheet too.
that activation button, it only lodges it into space-time. It doesn't undo it. It's not an undo button. It's like pulling the trigger on a gun. You can't unshoot the gun.
I can't unshoot the guy that I just shot.
No.
It's a Numenera, and I used it. Although I think you have the same power I do, that you can probably reuse it at least once.
No, you don't got that.
Oh, I have a thing that lets me reuse it once. So I'm
I
gonna.
don't. Yeah.
I will take my reality spike out of the air
You can't.
and put it back in my inventory.
You cannot.
I cannot.
You cannot.
I have a thing that
Does
says
it just last
No,
for
you
a
can
certain amount of
re-energize-
time?
You can re-energize a cipher once if you roll a 20 on a roll.
Okay, well, exactly. So I can't break it out of the air.
You can try and break it out of the air. If you break it out of the air, you can then re-energize it later.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Roll might.
It is a level 8 might check to take it out of the air.
I am taking down notes as he struggles against the reality spike.
Well, all right. If
That's
it's just a mic check, I want to say I'll be fair here, Tarek. You actually did express an interest in it first. Did you want to try and grab it before I got there?
I tried booping it because I thought it was boopable. It is not boopable, and my character is very frail. So he will like yank on it a bit, and then be like, "Yep, that's secure."
Okay, then yes, I will attempt the mic check too.
Okay, it's level 8. That thing is really wedged into reality. Difficulty 8.
I don't think we can help on these things.
If it's big enough for more than one
I don't
person to get a
remember if
grip
I
on
think I
it.
did the green D20.
Yeah, that didn't work.
And that's a straight up fail, so we're good.
And that cost you 3
Three might.
It did? Okay.
You put one well, you don't even have an asset on that. So,
No, I didn't put anything into it. I just tried it.
oh, well then you should have taken everything and put it to 0. Remember in action, you fill out your
Well-
little action area?
Did you spend effort? You're muted.
Okay, no, I spent nothing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
then
Sorry.
you
You
didn't.
also had the wrong difficulty in there, but
I don't remember how anything on this character sheet works. It's been a long time.
that's fair.
I don't know. I
Under
also-
action, there's a
I love
difficulty
this
area.
genre. I dislike this system.
Under
I
diffi-
dislike-
under-
This character sheet.
Yeah, the character sheet makes this system. The system's actually easy. It's the character sheet that makes it complicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under the character sheet, though, on action, there's a difficulty where you put in the level of the thing that you're trying to do. There's a cost, which I believe is like if you wanted to put in.
Well,
That would be like if you're
whatever.
doing a
They're
special
working
ability
on
that has a
how
set
the number I
cost.
rolled, and we all know I failed because I rolled under an 8 or whatever, so we're good to go, right?
Right.
Alright.
It's
Alright.
stuck.
It's stuck. You can't pull it.
Well, this piece of junk is stuck in the air. I smash it with a rock.
That's kind of the purpose of this item.
Yeah, well, yes, but the purpose has expired. I am back.
All right. You hit it with a rock, and it seems kind of impervious to any damage you can do with it. You're just not strong enough, or maybe it's
I
invulnerable.
clearly need a better scale of rock.
Is this an item that'll just stay there forever? Or will it eventually, like, run out of juice and fall down?
I do not
I
know,
love the
nor
idea
do I-
of somebody walking by this place and then knocking themselves really hard on a reality-breaking stick.
I think that we should
Just stuck
hang
right
things
there.
on it and see how long that lasts. Perhaps if we were to create like a scarecrow of sorts and hang it up there, this town will become renowned for the random floating thing that we have hung.
It's not a
in
town.
square. This location will become known for blah, the thing I just said. Shut up, person who's not there.
Well, I think maybe we should get going.
We should
And-
talk to this.
Yes. Talk to the hermit. Or
Okay. You walk
write
over
or
to the
draw.
You walk over to the tent, and you see the hermit kind of shuffling around, and he comes out to see you. And yeah, the thing has looks like a crow person. Has a big long beak. Now that you can
Okay.
see him out in the open. The mental static kind of washes over your psyche once more.
I look at Jade and go, perhaps you should speak to him in interpretive dance.
You know what? Maybe I will try that. I'll see what I can do with my performing arts. So, I guess that's gonna be a skill roll.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
To try to pantomime that we're looking for a mysterious object, and also, what the heck is going on here?
Make an intellect roll. You can spend effort if you like. I'm gonna make this a level 2. It's level 2. Difficulty 2.
Okay,
You need a 6 or better.
so I am trained
You're trained in
And-
dancing, huh?
I'm trained in physical performing arts.
Well, there you go. So now it's a level
shit.
3.
Wait, you said it was a level 2 difficulty.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I mean a level 1 difficulty. But it'll put it all in. Just put in
Therefore, it's
2,
more difficult.
trained, and hit the button, and you'll be fine.
I'm gonna use effort, so it's just an auto success.
Okay, as you spend effort, it auto succeeds. You'll spend 3 points of intellect,
2.
2 points of intellect, You don't even have to roll. It's auto succeed.
Oh,
You
yes.
should have rolled a 20. You should have rolled.
Yeah. You get across the fact that you're in an area that you cannot leave because of a weird Numenera. And the Murden kind of hunches down, puts out a little bit of dirt, and gets out a stick and starts drawing something in it.
That's a weird.
Do I have any pen or paper?
Huh?
Do I have any pen or paper to offer for him?
You have an explorer's pack? Let's see what's in an explorer's pack, shall we?
It'd be interesting if I had like a sketchbook of sorts for these sort of situations.
For what it's worth, I don't think Praxis caught on, and he's like, "This is a weird and like dance response." I don't quite understand it.
Explorer's pack has rope, rations, spikes, hammer, clothes. Nope, nothing to draw with.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have been trying to write. But he's got a stick and sand, apparently.
That'll work.
So he starts drawing something. It's weird to look at what he's drawing. You'll have to make an intellect check to decipher what it is. It's a level 3 intellect check to figure it out. Anybody can figure it out if you're looking at it.
I'm down. Level 3, you said?
Level 3. Difficulty 3.
I'll leave it to the smart people.
Take
So
a crack at that.
Under difficulty, you'll put in 3. If you're trained in, I guess, any sort of language skill or anything, you can change that to T from U. You can put in effort to reduce it by another one, and then click your intellect die. And
What are we trying to understand exactly? It's not Numenera, right? It's
No, it's his writing.
his writing is what he's trying to convey to you.
I have no linguistic skills, so that'd be untrained.
Yeah, untrained.
I succeeded.
I did not.
I think this is right. Wow, I suck. I even raised my edge to a 2 and all this stuff with my experience, and I can't roll for nothing.
So
Yeah, don't you have an edge of 2 and 2 effort? Keep in mind, you can spend 2 effort.
I could have, but I didn't.
Yeah, I know, it's only a level 3, so it's like, it wasn't supposed to be that hard.
I thought I would make that roll, and the dice were like, nope, you're going to be a moron this game.
Jade and Jet, y'all maybe are looking at it from the wrong angle. You don't know what he's drawing. But, Praxis, you're getting it. He's like, he's telling you he can let you out for a price.
I'm like, these are ancient human hieroglyphs. Men like this. Men like this. Sheaf of grain, men like this. Men like this. I understand completely. We're talking about farming.
Praxis, like puts his head to the side and kind of like stares at the drawing, and then looks over at Jade and goes, "How do you dance? How much?"
What?
He is asking you to dance. It is human mating ritual. You should do it.
He's saying that he can let us go for a price, but what that price is, I'm not sure. But I don't know how to dance that.
Quick! Give me the Numenera that turns me into a bee!
Yeah, right?
I need to wiggle better.
I need to shake my booty! Flap my wings! He has a stick. Maybe we can use that to just draw.
You know, this has to be the oddest thing I have ever witnessed.
Well, that is quite that is quite a good point. I do not have dirt though. and I'm not sure that I could scratch the metal with the stick. I look at him and go,
There
and
is
do this.
dirt around that he rode in, right?
He will scratch out in the dirt what looks to be a crude cipher. It looks like a wand with like little electricity coming off of it, and you know that's just since you made your roll already.
Just
you know
a generic one.
It's just a stand-in for any sort of cipher.
He wants technology.
Hmm. Well, I guess we can do that,
I pull out my
but
cube that has mirrors on it, and I open my hand and show him the mirrored cube. It is totally not a Numenera or a cipher,
oh,
but
it's
it is
just
shiny
an oddity.
and very interesting.
So it's an oddity, right?
It is an oddity that is a perfect cube that is mirrored on every side.
Okay, the haggling has begun.
Don't be a hag, you hag.
I'm more interested in knowing what the heck is going on here, and did he do this to us on purpose?
I'm pretty sure the answer is yes, but if we're being held hostage, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like being held hostage.
He's stupid.
So, here's the thing. He's got a pretty good perception and understands that that's not a Numenera. That said, you can still haggle with him on that price. So, or try and trick him. Either way, it's going to be a level 5 roll.
Like a persuasion kind of thing.
Kind of roll, yeah.
Well,
Or like a deception kind of roll. Try and trick him that it's not that it is
That
a
it really
cipher.
is a cipher.
Yeah.
I
I don't think there's
mind
any
making that
tricking
roll,
him.
but I am very bad at this.
It is an intellect roll.
That makes things a little easier.
Anything that has to do with social interaction is all intellect.
That's cool.
Well,
But I have an inability that says you have a manner or an aura that others find a bit unnerving.
mm-hmm.
Difficulty for any task, including charm, persuasion, or deception, is increased by 1 step.
Well, that's a problem.
Well,
But you're in charge of
I'm
the
willing to step in and say, we have this object.
Dance
Isn't
your way
it
through.
neat? Would you be willing to take this instead?
Since Tarek was the one to offer it, he has to be the one to make the roll. But
Okay.
you can give him an asset. So you have an inability, but you also have
Now
an
you
asset.
lose the inability, and it's
Well,
basically
they-
like you're untrained.
They can offset each other.
Yeah.
So put in that you have inability and asset at the same time into the little form there. Difficulty 5. And you can spend effort as well.
Let me ask you this. Can I use hedge magic,
Yes.
shine light off of the mirrors to make it look even more appealing?
That's interesting. You're gonna use a little more deception to make it look more like a Numenera. Tell you what. I'll give you you have to spend the cost of your hedge magic. You will get another asset on it. But if you roll level 1, a 1, 2, or 3, he understands that you are trying to trick him.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Okay. So I've calculated everything in. Let me make an intellect roll. I think I have everything the way it's supposed to be.
Did you spend effort?
I did spend effort.
All right.
I put in my 1 cost to
Work.
put in 2 assets. I think I'm good. So here we go.
That's
It's level 1. Oh no, okay.
that was Jet. That was
I succeeded, and I special succeeded.
yes. You need a 19 or a 20 to get a minor or major effect. You got an 18, which would give you extra damage if you were
If it was an attack.
Yeah, so... Unfortunately,
It's
you
a
didn't
mental attack.
Yes.
Special.
So, you've spent... That cost you a total of 3.
It did.
3 intellect. But you were able to convince him to give you... that this is a good offering. This is a good trade. So he will take your oddity. He will go back into the tent.
Goodbye, Cube.
He walks out with a disc with a bunch of little buttons and keys on it. And he'll... And you see, like, around you, like, the entire sky kind of change, like a little bit of static, like it was a screen, or like you ever watch Star Trek?
Yes.
You know the special effect they use when they touch a force field?
Yeah.
That's what you see in the entire sky.
It appears for a second and then goes away.
That's right. Then he'll turn around, he'll walk back into the tent.
I think it worked.
I sure hope so. Do you think maybe we should go back to camp and get everyone to move immediately?
That is a good plan. I will head back to camp. I begin walking that way.
Okay. Your mic is very low now, Howard. I don't know what happened, but...
I do not know either. And I will talk like this even when I'm not Jen.
Is it because your thing's up higher than
Yeah,
Tyra?
it's up there.
Is this the problem?
Yep.
Yes.
That's
You know, I've had mics that didn't matter and some that did, so who knows? I don't know if you got my message. I really honestly have to go.
Wow. Well, this has been a great adventure of
I'm not
Like
trying to
an hour
entertain
and a
you without me.
the Taker of Sorrow.
Write me out as you would like and continue gaming. I'll watch the rest later.
I think we're done. Well, this was a great one shot of this one little tiny bit.
Yeah.
And maybe next week we'll finish it up.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, that works for me.
Sounds reasonable.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Okay,
We'll finish it up. We
bye.
got a late start. Lots of things happen. Goodbye, everybody.
Somehow I blame Tara completely.
That's fair. I'm a terrible communicator.